Hello, folks. Welcome on in. I want to point out a few things. This drones is starting to make big news, and I put out something, I think it was like 3 days ago, on the drone sightings. And this is a bunch of people from Staten Island. And when I say a bunch of people, I'm talking people in power. This is failure in our government. We got mayors here who have the authority to pass ordinance or laws, whatever you want, on drones, and yet we got people out here doing nothing but hey, what's the answer? A mayor can take and tell the police officers, hey, we have a public safety here. Shoot the drone down to the police departments. I'm sure that could be done. There are laws against flying over certain installations. The police department does nothing. Our military, you are sworn in to defend your country. And, here they are flying over military installations, and even our military soldiers aren't upholding their oath to defend the country by shooting these drones down. We got a congresswoman that is trying to figure out what's going on too, and nobody else in Congress is answering this. This is big news, people. Can you imagine? I mean, we've been invaded already by our borders with people from all over the country, terrorists, you name it. This is how bad America is. It's they're more concerned about saving some other country or protecting some other corporation's shipment going in and out somewhere than they are protecting our own country. This is I mean, people should be up and standing up and demanding. Look, these people here, they're all in office and they are demanding, but they're not getting no answers. Anyway, I just want to show you this video, what these people have to say and who they are. You can watch it and see. All right, here we go.
Wow, what a sight. You like the flag? Good morning, everybody. My name is Vito Fasella. I just want to pose a question that I think is on millions of people's minds around here. What if there were 3,000 reports of drones or manned aircraft sightings over the U.S. Capitol or the White House or State House in Albany? What would happen? There would be an immediate and intense response to figure out what they were and to solve the problem. And yet, millions of people around here, New Jersey, of course, here in Staten Island, and beyond, are getting nothing but don't believe what you see. There's a saying that we had after 9/11, if you see something, say something. I think that's become, if you see something, don't worry about it, because we saw it too. And the people of Staten Island deserve answers. The people of this city and state and region deserve answers of what the heck is going on. Just last night in my neighborhood, my neighbor sent a video of whatever it is flying over our house. And yet we're told, don't believe what you see. It's shocking to us that here we are almost a month later, 3,000 sightings, drones, manned aircraft, and our folks don't have an answer. We're calling upon not just the New York City Police Department, but others to get involved, get aggressive, figure out what these things are, and help at least alleviate some of the frustration, anxiety that many people share. This is 2024. They're either lying or they're incompetent or they're both. How can we, the United States of America, have this going on and we're told just look the other way? Ignore it. It's no big deal. We know for a fact that there may be some who are, performing some type of surveillance. Well, let's be honest with the American people and treat them like adults and tell them what it is. Yet here we are, standing, because we know recently there were reports over this asset, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. Here we are in Fort Wadsworth, one of the oldest military installations in the country. There was, we believe, a drone flying above the bridge. We also know on the other side of the island there was a drone flying over New York Container Port and the Goethals Bridge. And we're supposed to just let it be? Come on, folks, step up to the plate and be honest and truthful with the American people, the people of Staten Island, and solve this problem once and for all. We're in this together. I know we have many folks around this region who are weighing in now. It's about time. We started a couple of weeks ago asking that, along with the Congresswoman, to include at least Staten Island in any investigation that's going on at the FAA and the FBI. This is not to take away from them. They didn't start this problem, but they have an obligation to let us know what the heck is going on. As I said, we're all in this together, and representing us in D.C. and Congress is our Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis.
Thank you, Vito. 20 years ago, they filmed War of the Worlds on Staten Island. And now we feel like we're characters in that movie. What is happening is outrageous. Thousands of drones and unmanned aerial systems flying above us, and our government is not telling us who's operating them and for what purpose. I don't believe that the United States of America, with its military capabilities, does not know what these objects are. And what I'm asking, and what we're all asking, is for you to be straight with us and just tell us what is going on. As Vito says, this is creating havoc. People are confused, they're concerned, they have anxiety, they don't know what's going on. There's all sorts of theories that are out there. And the best way to address this is to just be honest and tell the American people what is going on. These are not...
I want to stop this a minute. To be honest, she is more or less assuming that it's our military that's doing it. You know, like I was saying before, these people have the power. You know, look at Peanut the Squirrel. Oh, my God. You know, they rush in and do warrants and go after Peanut the Squirrel, a little squirrel, but yet we could have hundreds and hundreds of drones flying over, cities. What's going on here, folks? I am really surprised that people haven't started shooting these down yet. I really, really am surprised of that. But these people do have the power. You know, if you're in the military, you have the power. If you're in the police department, you have the power for public safety, for swearing of your oath to protect the United States of America. What's going on? Total failure in our government. Total failure.
Recreational drones. These are not, I don't believe, commercial drones, because if they are violating existing rules and regulations, which say that they need to be under 400 feet and they can't be operating in the middle of the night between sunset and sunrise. So that leaves two options. It's our government, or there's a foreign nexus. And so either our government is doing some type of surveillance activity or surveying, or what really would concern, I think, everyone, there's a foreign government that is doing this type of activity and surveillance. And they're...
She's saying a foreign now. In my last posting, there was somebody saying there was a Iranian mothership off our coast. Well, then there's talk about, there's nothing to be concerned about. We've looked. Well, what is we looking? 10 miles off our borders, because that's our jurisdiction, is only 10 miles. Well, what about 100 miles, 50 miles? You know, like I said in my last clip, our border used to be 50 to 100 miles, and now it's only like 10 miles off our coast. Who do you believe here in the government? This is why we need transparency. We have no transparency in government, and we, the people, you are working for us, we, the people, and we demand answers. It seems like government has forgot who they work for, yet we pay their checks. I see some comments in here, maybe we should stop paying our taxes. Well, it's a good question. We better get some answers. Let's just continue on.
Doing it above sensitive infrastructure, Verrazano Bridge, this U.S. Coast Guard base, the Army installation across the water, power plants, ports. And so, again, just be straight with us. Tell us what it is, and let's address it the best possible way so we can calm everyone down and make sure that these don't pose a threat to our national security and public safety. Because even if it is not nefarious, the fact that these things are flying all over is a public safety issue. There can be an accident. There could be an explosion. There could be a crash. This is a very densely populated area. And going back to the FAA restrictions, you cannot be flying these things above and around buildings if it's commercial or recreational. So something's not right here, and we need our government to give us answers and also put in place restrictions so that this does not continue, and enforce the existing regulations and restrictions. And that means our government needs to follow those rules as well. Thank you.
There you heard it. You know, they have rules. Follow the rules. All right, police officers, you're sworn to the oath to protect and defend the United States. You know, you're sworn in. You know, poor Peanut the squirrel, my God, all he was doing was, you know, entertaining people, being a family member. And yeah, we got drones up above causing a public safety. You police officers are too worried about pulling someone over because they had a light out, no victim, you know, but you write a ticket to get money. Well, maybe we do need to stop paying our money because you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job, people. I'm sick of it. Get with it and start doing your job. Let's continue.
Thank you, Nicole. You know, recently, just a few days ago, we announced that the city, in partnership with the MTA, Port Authority, and others, actually took 70,000 ghost vehicles off the roads. Bikes, e-bikes, mopeds, motorcycles, and cars. And yet here we are helpless with these ghost drones flying above. We also know that, as Nicole said, this is a public safety issue because there were reports out of New Jersey how somebody who needed to be medevaced to a hospital was prevented from doing so because of the drones. And we're just supposed to take this lightly? With us at the state level is State Senator Jessica Scarcella-Smith.
Public safety, you heard it, folks.
Thank you. Good morning. You know, one of the best sayings is that sunlight is always the best disinfectant. And leaving people and our community up to their own devices to decide what these drones might be, could be, and not giving the people answers from the top, from the government officials who are way higher up than any of us here locally, it's not right to us as we get hundreds upon hundreds of constituent requests and questions asking them what this is about that we have no answer. So this is us standing today demanding an answer. We need to be able to tell our constituents what is going on. And even if you just could provide a little bit more information, is this something of ours? Is this something that you need to do for security purposes? Even if it's big.
You know what? You're in power. Do something. It's your city. Demand the police department to shoot them down. You got police department helicopters. Get them up in the air. Follow them. Do your job, folks. Why am I paying taxes? Why?
an answer is better than look away. Don't look up. That's unacceptable. And the people of New York, the people of New Jersey, which I have friends who are complaining that there are dozens upon dozens above her house. She lives by a military installation in Jersey every single night, and nobody's doing anything. We need answers, and we need them now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, there's also reports of why don't you shoot them down? Perhaps the President of the United States or the Governor of the state of New York or elsewhere should say or issue an executive order to allow people to shoot the things down. There were those who had said in public life,
You don't need an executive order from federal government, you idiot. You're in charge of a city. You have a right to defend your city. You are an American citizen. You have a right to defend our country. You're sworn an oath. Get with it. I'm sick of this. I'm totally sick of no transparency in this country.
well, don't be concerned. Some of those people actually said they don't know what they are, but don't be concerned.
Don't be
You can't have it
concerned.
both ways. How can you not know what they are and say you shouldn't be concerned?
It's an invasion of my privacy of you flying drones over my property. I'm sorry, it's an invasion. If you're 100 feet off of my fucking property, it's an invasion.
So we're getting to the point of reckless rhetoric, reckless behavior, and basically, as I said before, you're either lying or incompetent to the people. State Senate Assemblyman Michael Tunis. So you know.
Thank you to the borough president for holding this press conference today. You know, tons and tons of constituents have contacted my office. I know they contacted the offices of my colleagues, and we just don't know what to tell them. We just don't know what to tell them because we're not getting any answers. And it's
What you tell them is you are going to get in your emergency legislative action in your city, and you're going to take action. Action, people. Do you know what the word action means? It means don't ask. It means take action, means do it. You know, these SUVs I've heard are the size of SUV car. That's a pretty big drone. I don't know why nobody's taking pop shots at them yet. It's unreal.
completely inexcusable. They owe it to the taxpayers. We owe it to the taxpayers. We, as representatives of the taxpayers, need to be able to inform our constituents of what the investigation has yielded. And we have none of that. We have none of that.
No
They're either
transparency.
lying or they're incompetent. It's 2024. You mean to tell me that we don't have the means to find out what these are within our own borders, over New Jersey, over Staten Island, over the tri-state area? Completely inexcusable. And I call not just on the federal government, I call on the New York State Police, I call on the NYPD to get involved, coordinate, investigate, so we could finally get some answers for our constituents.
There you go. Call on our police. You know, if I was that man and I had the power like the mayor there, I would be demanding answers, and I'd be starting to fire people if they're not doing their jobs. Anyway, I'm going to put a copy of this in the description if you want to watch the full thing. I'm not going to, this goes on an hour. It's just the same thing. No action. You know, I keep thinking about Peanut the Squirrel, how they all rushed in on Peanut the Squirrel. You know, I thinking about, you know, when they rushed in, you know, oh my God, all guns and arms in there for Trump, you know, because they had a few papers in his place that he had a right to keep, had a right to have. You know, there's so many things I think about how the police rush, you know, pulling somebody over when there's no crime, there's been no victim. Well, here we have drones flying over installations that is a crime and no action. What is this about, people? Is it all about collecting our dollars? Is that all this is? I know we're slaves. I understand we're slaves. And this slavery needs to end. Our transparency needs to happen. You know, we need transparency in government. You work for us. Don't forget that. I'm so pissed right now. And you should be pissed. Demanding answers. We need answers now. All right, folks. You want to watch the rest of the clip? You could go to the descriptor and watch it. I'm not going to show the rest of it. But I want to just point out that even city officials, aren't doing their jobs. The military's not doing their jobs. The Coast Guard's not doing their jobs. The police aren't doing their jobs. The mayors aren't doing their jobs. The legislators aren't doing their jobs. It's a total failure in our government, in the corporation. When I use the word government, I use the word corporation. I should start referring to it as corporation because that's what it is. Government is we the people. The corporations like this New York Staten Island is a corporation, and they do nothing. Nothing. Talk. That's it. All right, bye-bye now.